Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving right in, back to a single moment in time, a real flashpoint. This is the moment that ignited a war and, well, changed everything between China and the West.
Okay, so picture this. It's March 1839. We're out on the warm, dark waters of the China Seas. You can almost smell the salt in the air. And, yeah, the money. This is the high-stakes, high-risk world of the opium trade. And for the foreign merchants in Canton, business is absolutely booming.
You hear that? I wouldn't be surprised if the opium trade went on forever. That's some serious confidence right there. And it wasn't just, wishful thinking. This was the core belief of an entire industry, all built on one very addictive product. They really truly thought the good times would never end.
But yeah, he was about to be very, very surprised because the winds were definitely changing. Way up in Beijing, the emperor had finally had enough. He sends this imperial enforcer, this fixer heading south. And the surprise this guy has planned, it's about to completely shatter their whole profitable world and push two massive empires right to the edge of war. So to really get what's happening here, we've got to see it from their side first. Let's look at the merchants. We'll follow this one young guy, John Trader, and he has literally bet his entire future on one single, very illegal shipment. Now this guy, John Trader, he isn't just some greedy adventurer. I mean, sure, the money's a big part of it, but he's also driven by love, by ambition, by this burning desire to not just live some boring, ordinary life. So for him, opium isn't just a product. It's his one-way ticket to the life he feels he's supposed to have. A man needs enterprise and a steady nerve. I mean, that was the code, right? You had to have guts to survive in this game. Think about it. Prices would shoot up one day and then completely crash the next. You're dealing with smugglers, pirates, shady officials. Keeping a cool head wasn't just good advice. It was the only way you were going to make it out. So things are going great for Trader. He manages to sell some of his cargo. He even bribes a Chinese official with the help of a Dutch missionary of all people. His confidence is sky high. And then that same missionary pulls him aside for a quiet word. Just imagine hearing that. There is trouble ahead, big trouble. Take the money you have made and run for your life. After all that risk, you're so close to your goal, and someone gives you this absolutely chilling warning. It's like he can feel the storm that's about to just break wide open over Canton. So while Trader is sailing towards what he thinks is his big payday, the source of that big trouble is already there. Let's switch gears and look at this from a totally different angle. We need to talk about the man from Beijing, an official with, and I mean this, absolute power. This is Commissioner Lin's XU. And look, he was not your average bureaucrat. This guy was known for being smart and for being incorruptible. He wasn't sent to Canton to make a deal or take a bribe. No, his mission was singular: succeed where everyone else had failed. He was there to kill the opium trade, dead. So who's the real enemy here? Your first thought, my first thought, would be the foreign smugglers, right? The so-called foreign devils. But Commissioner Lin was a brilliant strategist. He knew the system's real weak point wasn't the outsiders.
Nope. His real targets were the Chinese, Hong merchants, the official guild that was allowed to deal with foreigners. He called them traders. And his strategy was frankly brilliant. He figured the problem, the rot, was on the inside. These local merchants were getting rich helping the foreigners. So, if he could hit them first, label them as traders, he could collapse the whole network from within.
Okay, but this whole thing isn't just about powerful men making big moves. This crisis, the opium trade, it reached deep, deep into everyday Chinese society. It was tearing families apart at the seams.
Let's take a family, for instance. There's a young wife, Mei-Ling, who just found out she's pregnant. A fortune teller says she's going to have a son, which is incredible news. But at the same time, she lives in constant fear. Why? Because her younger brother, Neo, has gotten sucked into the smuggling game. He's now just this shadow, known only as cousin from Guangzhou, and she's terrified he's going to end up dead. This is the real human cost of it all. This story was happening in thousands of homes. The merchants' profits were literally being paid for with broken families.
And this is the moment. John Trader finally steps off his ship onto the docks in Canton.
And these three very different worlds, the ambitious merchant, the unbending official, and the scared family, they're all about to crash right into each other. And when you break it down, you see they're just operating on completely different planets. The merchants, for them, it's all about business, enterprise, making a profit. Commissioner Lin, he's thinking about morality, imperial law, the health of his nation. There's no middle ground. They can't both be right.
And wow, does Lin move fast? I mean, breathtakingly fast. The merchants just kind of brushed it off at first, Oh, another empty threat. But this time it was real. Suddenly, they're trapped. Their supply lines are severed. Their local partners are facing execution. The entire foreign quarter of Canton basically becomes a prison overnight. So let's jump back to our guy, John Trader. He shows up full of hopes and dreams and walks straight into this absolute nightmare. All that confidence we talked about, gone. It's been replaced by pure, uncut panic.
He finds his new business partner, a guy named Tai-ly, and asks the only question that matters at this point. Remember, he has sunk everything he has, his entire inheritance and then some, into this one trip. He has to know, how bad is it?
And the answer he gets is just devastating. One word. Everything. That's it. Everything they stood to lose, all the money they'd made, the lives they were planning to build, all of it. About to be erased by one very, very determined official. Because Lin's ultimatum was absolute. There was zero room to negotiate. The deal was hand over every single chest of opium in China, not just in the warehouses, but on the ships still at sea. Then sign a pledge saying you'll never trade it again or you'll be executed. And the kicker, if you don't comply, we start executing the Chinese merchants you work with. So the choice was simple and terrible. Complete financial ruin or blood on your hands. In the end, what choice did they have? They handed it all over. We're talking more than 20,000 chests of opium, all confiscated, all destroyed. But this wasn't the end of the story, not even close. This moment became the spark. It was the justification Britain was looking for to start a war that would pry China open by force and kick off what's known in China as the Century of Humiliation.
So what happened in Canton leaves us with this huge question, right? It was a crisis born from greed, from corruption, and from two completely opposite ways of seeing the world. And the violent answer they found to that crisis? Well, the echoes of that violence would reshape global power for the next 100 years. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.